Okay.
Great. Hello, everyone. I'm Afolake Odubote, and I'm a product designer. And I'll be speaking today about redefining the product design landscape with AI and human intuition. Thanks. The very first thing I want to do is just to say a very big thank you to the women coding community for this opportunity to come on board to speak about this. And I also want to say a big thank you to Damola and Irat for being such a great host so far. Yeah, this is what we'll be diving into. And without any further ado, I will just go on to present. Let me just go on to present. Um, yeah. Can you see my screen? Sorry, I think I'm having issues with. Okay, great. Done.
Okay.
Can we also my screen now?
Yep.
Yes, we
Great.
can.
We're back. So this is our topic for today, and like I mentioned before, I'm Afolake. I'm a product designer at Lovebox Technologies. I'm also a creative director at Astory.ng, where I contribute to women advocacy around the world. I'm also an open source contributor at the Women Coding Community and at Women in APIs. So these are just like a subset of things that I do aside being a designer. I'll just go into the topic directly, and I think my first question would be: how many people use AI for their daily tasks or activities here? You can just raise your hand. So
I do.
nice, nice. I think I have one. I have three people more. Eh, Um, I have okay, great. So I got a lot of feedbacks from that. Good. So a lot of things are actually changing in the design landscape. And if there is anything that I've come to realize, it would be the fact that traditional design is actually changing from what design right now used to be. And we all knew when Chat GPT broke out, Gemini and Claude, when all these products broke out, and people started saying, "Oh, there was going to be a flare for designers, for graphic designers losing their jobs, and a lot of other, things like that, right?" And if there is anything a lot of people struggled with from that time till now, I've spoken with a lot of designers because I'm also a mentor at Beats. And if there's anything that I've gotten, most of the feedbacks I've gotten from my mentoring sessions, it would be the fact that people struggle with being able to use AI to equip or they struggle with how to use AI to just evaluate what they are working on, to equip themselves, or to work on their projects and things like that, especially in design. Majorly because there is a thin line between being able to use design to create a solution and just focusing on the wireframes or just the colors, the fonts, and things like that. And as a designer, your main focus is to create solutions that scale globally. And this is one thing that I've come to realize that when it comes to traditional design, a lot of people focus on intuition, research, and iteration, right? Which equals to which will just bring you to being able to make a good product and things like that. But when it comes to you being able to redefine your design right now with AI, you need to use intuition, you need to use AI, you need to use rapid iteration. And I put the question mark there because I want someone to answer my question. Yeah. So I did mention that for traditional design, you need intuition, you need research, you need iteration for you to have a good product. So now I'm asking, what do you need to be able to have a refined design with AI where you have intuition, AI, rapid iteration? What would the last one be for you to have an exceptional product that scale? Can someone just you can turn on your mic if you would like to speak.
I have no idea.
Okay, any other person wants to try?
I mean, does AI replace research?
Pardon?
Does AI replace research?
AI does not replace research, no.
So research is missing still.
Yes.
I would say testing.
No. Somebody was close. Intuition, AI, rapid iteration, and one more thing.
So there is a comment in the chat that says human judgment, human in the loop.
It's quite close, but that's not it. Somebody was actually quite close. Somebody mentioned it. But
Someone said, Linda said research.
great. So that's the answer. So research is our answer.
Okay.
Great, nice. I love that. So as I did mention, we definitely need intuition, we need AI, and we need intuition, AI, rapid iteration, and research for us to be able to create an exceptional product at scale. And why is this so, right? AI alone cannot churn out your designs, right? You need to be able to have the idea. You feed AI what you want to see. And another thing is, you are the one that needs to decide. You bring the emotions, you bring the psychology, you bring the human interaction, right? So these are things that goes into research. So being able to research all of these things. Okay, for example, you want to create a product for a fintech product now for people in Africa or in London. What is that one thing that is common in London or in the UK? For example, the credit structure here is at scale, but in Nigeria, it is not at scale, right? You can't want to build a product and be thinking of, oh, I want to create a credit card. It's not just going to really scale. So you want to put all those things into perspectives, and this is where research comes to play. So you are able to have the idea, feed it into the AI. You continue with having like multiple interactions for you to be able to pick the actual points you then build on, then use your research to be able to back that up to land at your final destination. So I hope I was able to shed some more light on that. So I'll be moving on to the next slide. Okay, I think I need to restart this. Great. Okay, so my next point is UX copy that actually converts. As a product designer, one of the things you need to focus on as well is to be able to write UX copies that actually convert, not just UX copies that sit on the screen. So there's a difference between kindly sign up, and there's also a difference between would love to share one or two updates or tips on so and so, let's connect, right? So we have the traditional way of telling people to sign up, and we also have like a new way of just communicating with people to be able to like sign up and things like that. So that's just one other example that I just thought to chip in. And let's just go through this, which says from writer's block to strategic messaging. One of the things that used to be an issue previously was people would spend hours to craft call to call actions, right? And you need to probably like create 3 slides or 3 frames of the same design, and your then you will need to like deliberate on which one to go for, which one shouldn't you go for. And a lot of times you definitely need to wait for the results, right? But now all you need to do is to define your emotion, you define the voice, you define the goal. What are you trying to build? Who are the people you are trying to build for? Who are your audience, literally? Then you can also feed this into the AI, and it is able to generate probably like a lot of iterations. And from the iterations of variations, you are able to select or even iterate again to let it know that, okay, this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm not going for. So in the actual end, it's just being able to find a balance between feeding AI with the actual idea, and being able to tweak it to give you what you actually need, because you actually bring the human part, the human psychology. to the O board, and AI just gives you the O points that you actually need. And from the old way, you can see that it would probably take you longer to like come up with ideas. But with the use of AI, it makes it easy for you as well. You pick your you can pick your variations. You can also select what resonates most with you, and also this also helps you to actually like help your AI learn. And the more you are able to feed the algorithm, the better it would also work for you. So we're moving on to complex design systems at scale. This is just talking about how building with consistency without bottlenecks. We all know about, most designers know what I mean by building with consistency without bottlenecks. You are thinking about your variations, you are thinking about your why, you are thinking about your design systems and things like that. So just a quick one. This says the challenge: you are designing for 10 different platforms, 30 user flows, 50 teams. So how AI plus intuition redefines this? So normally your intuition is to define your design principles and your brand DNA. You work on your branding, your designs, and what you want your design to look like, what you want your brand to look like. Then you are also able to establish the why behind each of your components, right? Then you make decision on the edge, and you collaborate with your team and things like that. Now with the use of AI, it makes it easier for you to be able to generate your component variations automatically. You don't have to go through the stress of creating components one after the other, having to resize, having to like fit it to org or had a variation and things like that. AI just makes it easy for you to be able to do a lot of these things. And when you are able to use AI to optimize your skill, to optimize your tasks, you're able to churn out more results, and you're also able to build yourself at scale. Just a minute, I'm trying to move into the next slide, but it seems like I'm having issues with that. So I'm just going to quickly use a new presentation. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
So while we fix that, does anybody have anything to say about what we've been talking about so far?
You can also drop your question in the chat.
Okay.
So I guess while we are trying to sort that out, there was one question which is not really like a question relating to the presentation, but it's more like can we get the slides after the session so we can upload this? Okay.
Yes, please. It is available.
Okay.
So I don't know what's wrong. I think I need to reload. So the load up time is making it delayed because I'm not presenting in like, so I'm using like a Figma. Okay, I'm just going to redirect that, right? Let me just, is it okay to stop sharing then present from Figma directly?
Yeah, that's fine.
You guys, okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to then use or present from Figma directly. Great. We are up. Nice. So I think we were just here. We were here, then we're moving down here. So my next point is, sorry for the break, guys. So my next point is understanding users you've never met, right? A lot of times we are always going to design or build products for people that we've never met before. And that's the way it is, right? What are the things you need to look out for? The process, right? Being able to think about how you are able to analyze, you need to think about the cultural data, the behavioral patterns, and your preferences. So the process says AI analyzes, you interpret, AI generates, you refine, AI monitors. And what does that thinking mean? Which means that you can actually generate your data with your design idea and things like that, or challenge. You are just able to say, oh, okay, fine. this is what I want to generate. I want to design a payment flow for users in so and so countries. This is what I need. It could provide you the cultural data that you need, the behavioral patterns in all these places. And as a result of that, it generates, it is able to actually prioritize what you've fed it. So for you to then be able to interpret this, you are able to say, okay, fine, I want to be able to interpret data as, I want to be able to analyze this data to generate these priorities, right? I want to be able to understand what the cultural and behavioral the patterns would be like, and how I can use this to work on my design or on my product in general. And the next one is AI generates localized variations. So AI can actually definitely come up with different design patterns. Okay, I think someone raised their hands, yeah?
No, you can continue. We'll answer later. It's a question, actually.
Okay, great. So AI could generate ideas and things like that, and all you have to do is to be able to generate or look at the variations, and you are able to pick the ones that match the cultural nuances that AI misses. So the work doesn't end there. AI can definitely generate ideas, but you have to keep on iterating till you are able to get what you want. Yeah. And like it says here, AI monitors continuous improvement. So the more you are able to feed the algorithm, just like I said, the more you are able to improve the AI too as well. The next one says the intuition AI workflow. And what does this simply mean? It's talking about the new design process. Previously, we would have like in time past, when we are about to like start like a new design or something, we'll go through all this user persona thing where we're interviewing people, doing all of these flows on Miro board and things like that. So why this is still very, very important? With the use of AI, a lot of things has actually changed. And the new design pattern or process that I follow is this. My phase one is usually for me to have my strategic intuition. Okay, what am I doing? What am I working on? What is my end goal, right? The first thing is strategic intuition. The second phase is creative exploration, where I have like a Figma board or a screen and I'm just dumping things there. It's like a dumping site. I just dump anything I see, any website, any design, any mobile. I just dump it there so that when I am ready, I'm able to compare and contrast and I'm able to like pick out the things that I do not need. The third phase is intelligence execution. And the fourth phase is continuous learning. I would go back and talk about strategic intuition. You can't really go far with any challenge or any product, right, without you being able to define the problem. A lot of times, I do understand that you definitely need to start first and like build on that momentum. But a lot of times, you need to start with being able to understand what you are trying to achieve. So if you are able to just understand that, okay, fine, I want to build a fintech product, and it needs to be credit based. You already know what you are building. Now, there are a lot of fintech products out there and a lot of products too as well. But what is going to make your stand out is what you want to think about. Now, you are able to define the problem, right? AI is also able to review all the patterns to you. Now you can go into AI to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or even on Figma as well. You are able to also generate screens from Figma as well. You can feed it with your idea and it's able to generate different patterns or different screens for you. And it is left to you to then decide, okay, fine. I need to optimize these buttons. I need to optimize this screen. I need to optimize these features and I need to optimize these features as well. The phase two says creative exploration. Like I mentioned, being able to just have options of different things that you can eventually select from and refine, right? Which is the end goal. you as designers or as people that work in tech, a lot of times we feed our eyes with so many ideas, and this actually just ignites our idea buttons, right? You are able to just think or read about things. It could be about like maybe like a podcast, or you watch a video about a new product and it just gives you an idea of something you would like to do, right? And phase three says intelligent execution. Intelligent execution means you are able to undo variations, meaning you are able to borderline on the most important selection you have made, and you are able to give meaning to these things. Giving meaning means you are able to ensure that you deliver, you do not skip your design process, you document as much as possible, simply because when you are designing and you're able to document what your process has been like, it's easier for you to also help other people, and it is also easier for you to help your team, because there are always going to be presentations where you have to like present what you've designed and things like that. If there is anything that I've come to realize from my own experience, is that documenting helps people to be able to understand the journey of your design, right? You're able to walk them through what you are thinking, what you thought when you made this decision to do this, and things like that. And phase four says continuous learning. Track your performance as much as possible using AI, but it is most important for you to be able to pivot as well as you go on that journey. The next one is understanding users you've never met. And I'm using this again because the main theme of this idea is to be able to use AI to enhance workflows that you can implement. So the first one is intuitive UX writing, which you need to be able to understand users you have never met, right? You need smart user research. Like we mentioned in the beginning, if you remember the first slide where I was asking us what we needed: intuition, research, AI, and things like that. We definitely also need scalable design solutions. And I decided to add some tools that actually help the UX writing process. The first one is ChatGPT. We all know that Copy AI is very effective. Claude is also very, very effective. And your own process could just look like you briefing the AI with context, with the tone, with the user pain points that you would like it to generate for you. For you to have a UX copy that scales, you need to be able to understand how to feed your AI with user pain points. Number two is smart user research. Smart user research is actually a process whereby you are just able to synthesize your patterns, right, from data, from your interviews. You've had conversations with people, and you're just able to use AI, right, to break down this data to enable you to be able to achieve what you need to achieve. And some tools it includes Dovetail AI, Maze AI, user testing AI, and things like that. Then number three is scalable design solutions. You have Figma AI, you have Galileo AI, UI, and you also have the UI Z. And your process could just include you defining your core design with your own vision. What is your goal? What is the problem you are trying to solve, and how do you want to go about it? The next one is the redefined designer. um our evolved superpowers. And what do I mean by that? As a designer, there is no fear of, okay, I think I might lose my job because of AI. I think I'm not performing well because of AI or stuff like that, because at the end of the day, we are the one that decides how this works, right? as 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 long as you are able to optimize it, as long as you are able to use it to improve what you work on, or use it as an aid on what you work on, I think we should be fine. So I made an example of what it used to look like as a designer, right, before the advent of AI broke out and breakout and things like that. And I said before, a designer was seen as an executor because all you did was create screens, you wrote copies, you conducted researches, and you also made mock-ups and things like that. But now it has changed, right? A designer is now a strategic orchestrator. You are not just designing your screens, you are not just trying to design and write copies and conduct research or things like that. Now you are applying AI to explore possible ideas, right? You're also applying intuition to make human-centered decisions because you feed in, like I mentioned, you feed in your ideas, right? So you have a lot of possibilities or options or variations. Then you are then able to use your human intuition to decide what to go for, right? Then you are able to then gather these ideas or data, then use them to solve complex problems, then create systems that you can learn from and also improve, and other people can learn from and also improve. Um, Yes, this says the definition starts now. So for a lot of designers, there might be people here. I did get a lot of LinkedIn messages from people who are just breaking into design and would like to just optimize their skills using AI and things like that. And one of the things that made me create this particular screen is for those people that would like to start now. So the action plan that I would just project would be for you to choose one problem. Use AI as a thinking partner, right? So choose a problem. Maybe you want to create a donation app. What kind of donation app should it be? Should it be for money? Should it be for clothing? Should it be for food? Should it be for people that need medical assistance or things like that? So you need to decide what industry or what it would look like, right? You pick that problem, you feed it into the AI, you keep on iterating as much as possible until you are able to get what resonates with you. And that's where psychology and human intuition sits at the bedrock. Then once you notice the difference in the patterns here, maybe the following months or things like that, begin to build your workflow. And like I mentioned, document as much as possible on this journey. Because the more you are able to document, the more you are able to know what works for you and the things to look out for, right? So build your workflow, measure the impact that this has made, share with your team, or if you have a team of people you actually learn with or share ideas with, share with them. And also, the last part would be to redefine what's possible. Yeah, redefine what is possible. Okay, I want to build something for a donation hub that helps people with medical assistance and things like that. Start a conversation on Twitter, on X or LinkedIn. Create a newsletter, right? Start gathering ideas. Survey this data that people are sharing. Feed it back into what you are working on, right? And create the impossible. Create a product that scale or create a solution for the people who needs them. Yes, we're rounding up with the presentation, and I'll just leave you with this. AI provides options, humans provide meaning. AI is always going to provide us with option. AI cannot replace us, right? Especially in the design industry. But we are the ones that give meanings to the product from start to finish. Being able to have the great idea, you iterate on these things, you build them, you document your journey, and in turn, you just keep iterating, documenting all your flows, your journey, and before you know what's going on, you are able to selectively decide what works and what doesn't work. And you begin to also feed the algorithm, the AI algorithm as well. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. I hope I was able to touch some of the pain points that I got on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, I'm open to answering them now. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much, Afolake. That was a very, very good presentation. Okay, yeah, we have questions in the chat, but I saw you can just ask the question, then we'll later read the ones in the chat.
Okay.
I think maybe the person wanted to react and then they raised their
Oh,
hand
okay.
instead.
Okay, that's fine. So let me just read the one in the chat. Please drop your questions in the chat or feel free to raise your hands and ask the question. So, Linda, okay.
Please, no, go ahead and ask the questions. Mine is more of a comment. But
Okay. So Linda asks, when using AI in research, how do designers ensure results are in line with personas from research? What sets the prompts apart?
Can I see? Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah. When using AI in research,
Okay.
how do designers ensure results are in line with persona from research?
Okay, great.
What sets the prompts apart?
Okay. So I think the first thing is what sets the persona apart when using AI in research, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So I think the first thing is who are your audience? Who are your specific audience? Who are you building for? So I made an example, right? Using people that using the UK and Nigeria, right? I did mention that in Nigeria the credit system doesn't really work. Reason being that people like to do cash and carry. People pay for their things whole and they get it all at once. But here in the UK, yeah, the credit system works. It just helps you to be able to build your credit score and things like that. But back in Nigeria, it doesn't work. So I wouldn't be able to successfully, in a short term, right? I wouldn't be able to really build a credit product that scale the way I would want it to scale. I'm not saying that it won't scale, but it might take me a longer while, right? So you need to understand the cultural data that you're working with. So are you working with people in Nigeria? Are you working with people in the UK? And another thing you can do is now you've gotten this data, right? Feed it back into the AI, right? Ask it some questions. So you need to decide your audience, one, and you need to be able to use AI, right? To actually selectively decide what the sorry, I think I'm mixing it up. What the what was it called would be like. I mean the personas there. So you are picking the location, then you are picking your audience through your location. Yeah. Then you are asking AI how you can use or how you can generate the personas. I'm not sure if I'm getting the question or if I'm. Can
I
you
think
hear me?
I think I get a Linda, sorry, go on.
Okay, cool. So
Let
basically,
me
what I was just asking is like,
maybe that would help me.
I've done my research, I have personas, and
Okay.
I want to feed it back into AI
Yeah.
to make sense of it. As a designer, how how do you ensure that like you prompt it and you keep it like in the space of what you want? Right. So if as a beginner, say I was a beginner, how do I accurately prompt AI to get
Mm-hmm.
the response that I want?
To give it, so you keep feeding it with different iterations. So
Okay.
you said you are trying to build a design, yeah, using the personas, right?
Mm.
So you fed it with the first idea. It's going to bring you a prompt. No, it will generate an idea or like an answer. So you have to keep tweaking it to what you want.
I think one thing I also got from like your answer was the fact that like how do you set the prompts apart? You mentioned things like you know your audience, and then depending on what your audience, who your audience is, that would most likely like set your prompt apart. Because for example, maybe you consider location or you consider like what the audience actually needs, what would help them in their environment, or like what suits them. I think that would probably inform the kind of prompts that you give the AI tool that you're using to generate your designs or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that answers a question, but I think that's what I got from your answer.
Yeah, that's one of that's something that I
Sorry,
meant.
can hear you.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
I can
No,
hear
no,
you.
no.
Okay, so that's one of the things that
Can
I
anyone
did
else?
mention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Linda was able to get anything from the answers, or
I
she
did. I
needs
did.
to what?
I did. I did. So it's correct.
Okay. Okay, so when using AI in research, how do designers ensure results are in line with personas from research? Okay, we did mention using deciding the location, deciding the audience through that, and what sets the prompt apart. What we are able to feed it, it gives you an answer. You are able to feed it back with what you want. So that's the human part, the psychology part, where you tell it, okay, this is what. So you have to go back to the problem you are trying to solve, right? Relate the idea or the iteration that the AI has given you. Relate the idea with that prompt. Tell it the kind of pain points that you're trying to solve in relation to the audience you have selected from that location. Then the more it gives you, the more you train it, right? The more ideas it would definitely bring or give you. So I hope that was helpful, Linda. And I'm always open if you would like me to. So if you would like me to go through like a workflow with you as well, personally, I'm always open to doing that.
Thank you, because you have a lot of questions. So
Yes.
let me.
Let's quickly.
The next one is, when using AI in research, how do designers ensure results are in line with personas from research?
No, I think that's the same question. I just sent it again just so she sees it.
Oh,
So
okay,
if you
okay,
mind,
okay.
I
Okay,
had a
that's true.
question.
So the next question should be, what AI tool do you mainly use, and can you give example of the best ones for product designers?
Apart from Claude Space, what's for Gemini and ChatGPT. So to be honest, yeah, I use majorly Claude and ChatGPT. I also build, so I'm also able to like build website using Vercel, but it's not like really, it's not like a coding thing. It's a non-code because I do not code, right? So I'm also able to use Vercel. Currently, I'm using Vercel to build a product. So Vercel is definitely a very good option depending on what you are going for, right? If you're trying to design a website, you can use Vestel. It works. I could also just drop it here in the chat. Vestel works really, really good, right? So you could use Vestel. It definitely works. It definitely
Um,
works.
Okay.
So I
The
think
follow-up question is, would you also be able to use one of the tools to briefly demo any of the design process phase?
uh
I'm not
okay.
sure you prepared for that.
Okay,
Did
so
you?
I didn't prepare for that, but
Um,
I have some stuff that I could quickly just, I could quickly share, right? That I could quickly share. Let me just dig them up.
I think while trying to like show the demo,
Yeah.
shall I read the other questions? Just
Um
conscious of
I'm
time.
ready to
I
actually
think
share if I'm
okay.
ready to actually share
Okay.
this.
Yeah, you can share.
Okay, great. So let me go on to do that. Okay, great. Great. So for example, yeah, I was working on this and yeah, it's still in the process, but it was just like a test run, right? So I wanted to like build like an open source platform as well, but it's not just like open source, right? I'm just trying to like gather ideas about events happening all around the world, the kind of open source products that there are, the podcast on open source, events on open source, partners of open source, just open source. I just want to give um, more light to the creators or to the developers and founders of open source products, and I wanted to just create something, about that. So this was what I did. I came to Vessel and I've just been feeding it with what I want. And over time, what I've come to realize is, so I started from here telling it what I wanted, telling it that there was some error, and you can see here it says I apologize for the error. I didn't properly update the home page. So that was why I said that you can also call out AI on something you know that isn't right, because AI is not 100% right. Let's be real. It is not always 100%. So you need to know that you can't always bank on what you get. But as the human, yeah, you are able to think and feel and ideate and pinpoint on things that you think doesn't align. And I started to feed it, and so far this is what it has created for me. And this is just like a mock-up that I'm still going to then use to create a design. But this has saved me tons of time, right? It has saved me tons of time. I didn't design any of this, by the way. I didn't design.
Just curious, right?
Yeah, yes.
Do you have like the source? Because when you're designing with Figma, you are able to edit. So do you have where
Yes.
you'll be able to,
I've been
tweak
doing
it,
that.
edit?
Yes.
Oh,
I have
okay.
the code and I've been editing here as well.
Oh,
So you can come here to edit code and things like that. I've been doing that. Doing that. Yeah. So it makes it easier for you. And you can also just publish from here once you are done as well. So this is something that anybody can use. You don't have to be, even if you are software, anybody. I mean, so you can use this to build anything you would like it to build. You can also generate different pictures. You can fill it with your pictures. It will come up with your stuff. And yeah, and let me just take you guys through. This is the products part. So this part is just talking about the tech product, and all I had to do was just to fill it with the intro, right? The kind of partners page that I would want, how I would want it to function, and it will just keep generating things like that. And if there is an error, you can also let it know that an error occurred during deployment, and it will fix it, right? It's just very effective. And yeah, this is AI. It wasn't designed by me. So did that answer someone's question?
Yeah, that's thank you. So moving on to the next question. I'm kind of conscious of time.
Yes.
What are the examples of AI you've used as a product designer apart from cloud base 44?
I think that's what I just
Zero?
I
answered.
think that's the question that she also answered now. I think she mentioned Bristol and GR has acknowledged that. So I think we can move on to the next question. Because I think we have two more.
How might the role of a product designer evolve in the next 5 to 10 years because of AI?
Okay, so in the next 5 to 10 years, I see design going beyond design, right? That's like the typical thing anybody would want to say, yeah? Cheesy. So to be honest, it's going to be more about you being forward oriented. And what do I mean? Nobody's going to want you to probably just spend weeks trying to research, trying to work with your color branding and things like that. But like in the next 5 to 10 years, the amount of time that designers spend on research, but I think a lot of designers spend so much time trying to research, the amount of time is going to be crunched down. I believe people would desire to see more results, right? More results, less time consumption in being able to churn out design, which does not like take out the whole thinking design process, right? But because there is AI, it just makes it easy for you. And guess what? With what I just presented, you're also able to go back to all the things you fed AI, and you're able to also document everything you fed AI, which is still a source of documentation. But the most important thing, save everything, save your ideas. So I think in the next 5 to 10 years, I think it is going to be really big. We'll probably have apps like open source tools like Versal that would be able to help us like build a design or build a product from start to finish. But the work would still be left with the designer. to decide how to go about it. You bring the psychology, the human interaction, the feelings, the prototyping, and you are able to actually tell what you want a user to see when they log in. You are able to tell what you want them to like tap on next, how you want the button to look. Do you want to add some variation? Like you are able to just decide all of these things. AI won't be able. AI would create generic frames or screens. Designers would then be able to decide how this goes or flows. So I think it's going to be big, and the more we are able to use it now, the better it's going to be for us in the future. So I hope I was able to answer that.
Yeah, thank you. Even though I have a comment, but let me go to the next question. Thanks for the awesome presentation. When you mentioned documenting everything, I was wondering what part of the design process do you think are most important to document?
For real, I think every part of the design process. Do you know why? A lot of times as well, you are able to also refer back to some research that you've made before. It's possible that you might need to probably like still create so there are lots of fintech products, right? You can decide to create something for maybe like cards, like maybe cards designer, a product on like cards. Then you still have, which is still in the fintech industry, right? Then you also still have another bulk payout product as well, right? You can actually iterate the data, right, to still work for you when you are trying to work on the card design. So it depends on how you are able to tweak it. So I think no part of the design process documentation should be left out, because a lot of times it also still saves you time. So the more you are able to document, the easier it gets with time as well. And when I say documenting, when you are going through the process of building, that phase is different. For me, I believe that designing is not the final stage of any product. Once the product has launched, that's not the end. The product starts when users begin to onboard on that product. That's when I believe you've started designing, right? So once you have been able to onboard a lot of users, people are sending in money, depending on the kind of app it is, people are sending in money, people are making use of that product, you need to start documenting as soon as possible. What are the problems people are facing? What part of the user flow are they dropping off? What are their concerns? Maybe you are getting emails every time, oh, whenever I log in, it just logs me out. You need to start documenting all of these things, and also getting feedbacks from the users. So I think all the design phases demands documentation. And most importantly, documentation shouldn't stop after design. It should just continue even when customers or users have been onboarded to the very end. Throughout the product life cycle, just keep documenting. Even if the product is like 10, 5 years, 15 years, keep documenting. Reason being that you want to be able to also look at where you've come from and where and like also how the product is also performing in those recent times. So that way, so you are also able to gather your own data, and also you can also use those data to build another product entirely. So I think it should just continue. Please don't stop. Yeah.
I agree with that. There's no harm in over documenting. Yeah, thank you. And not a question, just an add-on. I have found that Cloud is quite good at creating wireframes for apps and dashboard. Most times it gets me what I need in the first prompt. Depends on how good your prompt is. It provides the HTML code that you can run on a separate browser.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that, Charmin.
And okay, it's just basically conversation.
Yeah.
At Charming doesn't mean you don't use Figma if you can use cloud frames. I use it as inspiration, and especially create a replica on Figma. I make adjustments or refinement based on my requirements. I'm not a product designer, though. Oh, really?
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So I've been using Figma to create dashboard wireframes. Hope that helps. That's really good information. Thank you for sharing. I think that comes to the end of our questions, and
Yeah.
thank you so
Yeah.
much, everyone.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
I do have a comment. Just
Okay.
to mention, again, I really enjoyed this presentation, and I wanted to say that coming into this session, the idea that I had that this session was going to be about was, oh, maybe you'd show us how you can use AI to like maybe like create like a design, but then I quickly realized that like it's like the work of a product designer is so much more than that. Like it's not just about creating the design. Like you use AI for like other parts of the process as well, and a lot of the process comes before the actual design. So that's something like I was not aware of, or maybe I was aware of it and I like it did not really sink in. But this session like really helped me to like really understand that even before the design part or creating the designs, like you use AI to do a lot of this groundwork. So thank you for sharing and letting us know. But yeah, that's my comment.
I'm glad you were able to like catch on that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I actually forgot to actually drop Afolake's LinkedIn on the chat so people can join, but I will share that on the channel as well. You can follow her on LinkedIn, Afolake Odubute. You can also follow me, Damola Badmos, and you can,
We would
thank
also
you so
share a recording of this session on on YouTube.
YouTube. So we'll let you know when the recordings is available. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Please join our Slack channel. We are always welcoming volunteers. We are always welcoming speakers to come and speak. And hope you have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Stop the recording. Where do I stop?